Hey, welcome back, guys. This is 5 Minute Friday. I'm the Downward Doug, and we'll see you in just a second. What are we doing again? Hey, welcome back, guys. I'm the Downward Doug. Thanks for joining. This is 5 Minute Friday. Today we are covering Warrior 3. Okay, so just like the other warrior positions, we're going to start at the front of the mat, but be aware, this is the toughest of the lot, I think, in my opinion. So tough, in fact, that I've just recorded this whole thing a few times and realized I wasn't rolling on the sound, so I'm doing it again, and already I can feel my glute is killing me. So be aware, it is a tough one. So before anything else, let's start that clock. 5 minutes on the clock, let's get going. Starting at the top of the mat, like I say, feet down, starting Tadasana. If you don't know what that is already, press down through the feet. Find a nice even point where you're balanced above the feet. Engage the thighs, engage the bum, engage the core. The core is the important part because that's what's going to join the lower body with the upper body. That way, everything moves together. That's very important in so many of our positions, Chaturanga, as well as this Warrior 3. And most of our standing poses, to be honest, we want everything engaged, working as one long line of energy, not breaking the line. If you don't know what breaking the line would be, that would be something like this. If we were swaying back and forth like this, you can see that break in the midriff. We don't want that. Long line of energy, working all together. Hands can come down, chest rolls back, open chest. That's also going to help in this pose. Now, feel what this position is like. Rock your weight into your left side, keep engaged, press down into that standing foot. Come across to the right foot, press down to that standing foot. Everything stays engaged, nothing else changes. We just shift weight side to side. Understandably, like penguins, maybe look a little bit crazy if you're doing this in a park or something, but hopefully doing it at home without the judgment of others. All right, from here, hands come into heart center. Take a moment. Exhale, bring your hands onto your hips. Step back. Find yourself on those two train tracks. I'm just going to align myself a little bit better to those cameras. Hands on the hips, release the index fingers. That'll show you which way the hips are pointing. So important in all these warriors is the distinction of where the hips point in space. So make sure those hips are straight. If they're not, you need to open up. By all means, go for it. Don't open this too wide because that's going to make the lean forward and the launch into Warrior 3 much harder. From here, we bend the knee, hips still engaged, core still engaged. Keep that Tadasana. Come up to the toes of the back leg. Pour your weight into that front leg. And then straighten that back leg. Both legs now straight. You'll notice that this part of my body, from the legs, or the leg that's back, all the way to the crown of my head, that is still the same. I use these hands still to check in on those hips. They're going to want to start to open out, more like a half moon. We want them facing the ground at all times. Now this is tough on the balance already just here. So this is where you are. By all means, stay here. Otherwise, just start to lean your weight forward, play with where that weight goes. Use that micro bend in that front leg to help with the balance. If you feel like the hip is splaying out to the right, make sure the pinky edge of that back foot points down towards the ground. Now, a couple of options here. Stay engaged, Tadasana, crown of the head to the foot. Hands come into heart center. This can really help keep the chest lifted. What we don't want is a break in the legs where the torso is going in a different direction. All one long line of energy. Chest lifted. Hands together, pressing together, remind us to keep the shoulders back. Leg reaches back in space. Leg is engaged as arms reach forward. Find long line of energy, crown of the head, lower to back foot. Keep that back foot engaged. Inhale, reverse everything. Knee comes in, step it back. Now, as I said, I've done this a few times, so leg is burning. A couple of pointers when you go into there. Back leg is engaged. I say it in my class all the time, but I can't stress it enough. Make sure that quad is turned on. Some people like to point their foot. That kind of throws me off a bit. I like to dorsiflex, which means bring the toes towards the shin. So as I'm leaning forward, I curl the toes back. That also helps me to keep the hips straight. Big thing, again, hips point towards the ground. So see where you go. Last thing, probably the most popular problem, is that people go with the torso, but they leave their leg behind. So if this is you, and you're just kind of leaning towards the ground, leg is staying, don't do that. Keep this line, this orientation, and let that move as one line of energy. A little bit like if you ever seen those, what is it, like it's an office toy, that drinking bird. It's kind of like a weighted system, but that line of energy changes. I might have to put a photo or video up of that thing because that might not make sense to everyone. Right, that's enough from me. I'm running out of time, losing my touch. That was Warrior 3. You've been awesome. I'm the Downward Doug. Make sure you hit click, like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And if you've got any other poses you want to see, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Right, I got to get out of here. You've been awesome. I'm the Downward Doug. We'll see you next time.